You know that feeling when you've been trying and trying, and nothing seems to change? When you've shown up day after day, patient, stubborn, hopeful, and the thing you want most still feels just as far away. Maybe it's a skill you're learning, or a person you're trying to reach, or a dream you've been building with both hands. Your fingers are aching, your hope is wearing thin, and a quiet voice inside you starts to whisper that maybe it's time to stop. Most people listen to that voice, and most people never know what they were reaching for. Most people quit when it gets hardest, not because they're weak, but because it feels sensible. The effort seems pointless. The silence feels like an answer. When you've been digging and nothing comes up but rock and dust, you start to believe the gold was never there at all. You think the struggle means you're going the wrong way. You think the universe is telling you to turn back. But sometimes the struggle means the very opposite. In the 1890s, a man traveled to Colorado to dig for gold. He staked a claim, raised money from his relatives, bought drilling machinery, and went to work. For a while it worked. Gold came up enough to see a real future taking shape. Then, without warning, the vein disappeared. He drilled deeper. Nothing. He drilled at an angle. Nothing. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months. Still nothing came up but gray, empty rock. One more day, he told himself each morning. One more day. But eventually the money ran out, and so did his faith. He quit. He sold his equipment to a junk man for a few $100s, and rode the train home with nothing to show for years of work. He never went back. The junk man was curious. He called in a mining engineer, who studied the mine carefully, the rock formations, the angles, the way gold veins behave underground. The engineer calculated something that would haunt the first man for the rest of his life. The vein would resume exactly 3 feet from where he had stopped drilling. 3 feet. The junk man drilled those 3 feet and struck one of the richest gold deposits in Colorado. All that gold sitting there in the dark 3 feet from where he stopped. The man who quit had been 3 feet away from everything he was searching for. 3 feet, the length of a child's outstretched arm, the distance between two people standing face to face. And this pattern repeats itself everywhere, in ways we don't always see. The writer who stopped sending her manuscript after 12 rejections. She didn't know the 13th publisher would say yes. The son who stopped calling his father after months of silence. He didn't know his father had been waiting, just one more day, to pick up the phone. The woman who closed her small business the month before it would have turned a profit. They were all 3 feet from something. They just couldn't see it from where they were standing. What the miner couldn't see, what none of us can see in our hardest moments, is that the rock had gotten harder right above the gold. The drilling had become more difficult not because he was failing, but because he was getting closer. The resistance wasn't a wall blocking his way. It was a signal that the treasure was near. He had been so close. He would never know. 3 feet away, and he turned around and walked away. The gold never moved. He did. If you're young and you've been trying something that feels impossible, you might be 3 feet from getting it. The math that won't click, the song that won't sound right, the friend who seems just out of reach. One more day of trying, one more question asked, one more hello. That might be the one that breaks it open. You don't have to be the fastest or the smartest or the best. You just have to be the one who shows up one more day. And if you're older, you know this in your bones. The work that won't budge. The person you can't reach. The dream you've carried so long your arms shake. You've thought about setting it down. You've thought maybe it wasn't meant for you. But what if this is the hardest part because you're almost there? What if the resistance means the gold is close? What if the rock is hardest right above the treasure? The gold was there the whole time, 3 feet down, waiting. It didn't move. He did. When everything in you wants to quit, give it one more day. You might be closer than you think. You might be 3 feet from everything you've been digging for.